What is up, everybody? How are you doing today? All right, so this is going to be my yearly wrap up that everybody's probably going to end up doing a million of these, where they just recap stuff that they have collected over the year. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I did break everything down into categories. I also broke down everything into 10 to 1. And I'm going to do all kinds of great stuff: cards, comics, and records. So, first off, I just want to preface this all by saying I'm just overwhelmed with how this year has gone. Started in May, just making videos like I used to, did it on my phone. Started out that way, just seeing who's still out there, who I used to know from YouTube, and see if anybody's still out there. But also, see who's new. And I've met tons and tons and tons of incredible people this year. That just I just can't put into words how close of friends I've come with so many people that are all in the same things that I'm into. Sometimes not, sometimes they are. As far as collecting, what we're reading, what we're listening to, and what we watch, it's really amazing. I don't even know what to say. I appreciate all of my 220 subscribers that I have. Every single one of you is awesome. I appreciate you watching. I really appreciate you leaving comments. Likes, all that good stuff is good, but comments is basically my main thing. I love when people interact and we get to know each other. It's not just about views, and it's not just about likes. It's not just about dislikes. In Comic Journey's case, it's about just finding people who you gel with, and you hang out and you have a good time. Shout out to all my boys in Spine Ticks. After watching the show for like a month, I finally jumped on. Never thought I would end up being a part of Spine Ticks. Never thought I would have this many people in the chat. Any of this stuff. Never thought. Any of this stuff would be happening. So I'm 100% appreciative of Sith and for letting me be on. And I can't believe how awesome all the guys are from Spine Ticks, all my beanbag brethren, who I am now part of. I'm really excited that we're coming back January 1st. Be there. Sith says he has some surprises, and that's all he's told us. He hasn't told us much except who starting guests will be. And that's it. But he said he's got big stuff planned. So you guys will be right there along for the surprises, just like we will. We have no idea. So there's that. So now let's get into the chat. Let's see who's here. Everybody's already interacting, telling each other hey, and all this other stuff. So let's go through here. First in the room, as usual, is White Tiger, CCC. White Tiger C cubed. There you go. Oh, you should totally do that. C with the little cube, little 3 top. There you go, buddy. White Tiger, thank you for showing up. Bookworm's another amazing. The microphone, sent me the freaking microphone. Just such a great dude. Just incredible. And I'm really glad that I met him. His videos are just great. This country is divided, and there's either McRivers or anti-McRivers, and you're on one side or the other. There is no in between. We got my bro Dave Kletch. Amazing advent calendar this year with the boys, with his sons. I can't, I sent him a gift myself. I can't wait for him to see him open that. They already have. It's just been recorded. I can't wait to see the reaction. Shop for Comics. What is up? Shop is another one that I found this year. What is up, Sleepy Reader? Sleepy Reader, I was really excited to see that Damien is still on YouTube, still pumping out videos. Literally, second guy I ever subscribed to on YouTube as far as comics went was Sleepy Reader. Damien, how many views does that Why Comic Books Are Addictive video have by now? How many how many views does that thing have? Is ridiculous. Oh God, Dave. Okay, let me get done with these and then I'll tell the story. Was a Beefit all the way from New Zealand. What is up? I'm really good. I can't complain. This has probably been the best year I think I've had in a while. Like, I mean, not only do I have my own place, that's happened before. Not only do I have a room, a comic book room, office room, whatever, that looks like this now, but incredible people that I've met. My Decembers usually are horrible because something goes wrong, but that ended up kind of working itself out, and I kind of walked through that situation a lot smoother than I would have if I was younger. So yeah, I actually take a lot of pride in the fact that this year's really gone smooth, and I really can't complain too much. I mean, the little things happen all the time to people, but you can't let it overwhelm you. You can't let it ruin your whole year. As hard as that sometimes is. Let's see, Miss So, the night owl herself. How you doing, Miss So? Really glad that you're here. Beanbag Bros. I thank you, Damien. I have having an epic comeback. I think I only had 300 something subscribers the first time, and now I'm almost there again. So let's see. Is there anybody else? Gore Vidal. What is up, Gore? How are you doing today? Let's see. Welcome, including myself. One of the best users. Yeah, everyone should subscribe to Sleepy Reader 666. I can 100% attest to all this being true. Yeah, he literally brought a lot of people into doing this. He's made some great videos, and not just he made great videos, like the knowledge in that man's brain. It's great. I mean, his reviews are great. His hauls are great because he only reads what he likes, and he's really critical of it. So if you're on his pull list for a while, you're writing it good. You're drawing it really well. So there's that. That is everybody in the chat for now. He hasn't looked at it in a while. So there's that. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. Whatever holiday you celebrate, whether it be Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Yule, like myself. I hope everyone has a great new year. I hope you've achieved your goals for this year. I hope you're going to achieve your goals for next year. Yeah, so onward and upward, as they say. So Dave mentioned story. Tell the story. Okay, so I'm going to sound crazy. The other night when we had the chat on Comic Talk Weekly Phil's channel, there was an instance in the stream where I was sitting here at my desk and I heard there are hedges right outside this window. I heard the hedges rustling pretty hard, and the first thing that went through my head was wind. So I immediately was like, "Oh, it's the wind. Maybe it's windy outside. Who would know in here?" And I immediately just brushed it off. Until I heard it. I heard a low growl that actually got louder a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's loud enough to pick up on the video, maybe, but I don't really know. I haven't looked back to see. But I heard a growl, and I was like, "What is that?" So at first, since I'm deaf in this ear, and this ear faces the door towards the rest of the house, I thought somebody might be in the house, like there was a dog in my house, which I'm fine with. But A, it was growling. B, I don't own a dog. C, my doors were shut and locked. So I was immediately like, okay, on alert. But then I realized quickly it's not coming from in the house. It's coming from my right side. So it's coming from the window. So I kind of waited and I waited. And luckily, my next door neighbor's dog in the backyard flipped out. He just completely lost it, started barking like crazy. I could hear him running around outside because he's like back over here. So I heard him start freaking out, and then the growling stopped. And I was like, that doesn't sound good. So I get up and I look out the window that way down the street, see nothing. A couple cars, just quiet. And I was like, okay, look this way down the street. and there's a street light in front of my neighbor's house, a little ways up the road. And in the street light, I see a man standing, what I thought was a man, standing underneath the street light. He looked maybe a couple inches taller than me, so really wasn't too worried about it. He had a little bit of a build to him, so he was probably, I was guessing he's maybe 220, maybe a little bit more than that, but still hefty. But he's all the way over there, so I wasn't really worried about it. But his head looked unusual. It kind of looked strange. From looking at a distance, I was like, my eyes are playing tricks on me. Shout out to Ghetto Boys. So I see him, and I'm like, that's unusual. And literally, like, he can feel someone staring at him. He turns and looks towards my window, towards my way. And I was like, oh, here it goes. And instead of coming this way, which is what I was hoping he would not do, come towards the house, what is up, Slim? Sean, another awesome YouTuber that I've met over the past year. We've become great friends. I see him look this way, and I'm like, And then he turns around to face the opposite way to go down the street, gets onto all fours, and walks away. And not as a person would get onto all fours, like you would get on your knees, or like you would like try to like walk like an animal. And since our legs are higher, no, like he was fine doing this. So, I mean, it was like, all right, I'm done with this. And I just went back to the stream. At one point, the screen did go black because I muted the screen, and I muted it, and I went and got something out of the house and moved it closer to me, just in case something went down. You guys can let your minds wander as to what it was. It was more like a 200 and something pound possum, if it was a possum. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it was pretty, like, at first, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, Krampus is coming to get me. But I think it was a bear. I really, really do. I think it was a black bear. It was like, that's a lot of nuts. It was a nuts situation, and it was like 200 and something pounds of nuts. I'm thinking it was a young bear, or maybe a bear who was, just didn't fatten up for the winter, and maybe he was wandering around looking for food. The next day, I did walk outside and look underneath the windowsill to see if I could see any prints. I saw two. One, I could definitely tell was a dog. It was 100% a dog. It was the size of a dog print. It looked like a dog print. Other was not the size of a dog print, and it was not a dog print. I don't know what it was, but something was, so it kind of freaked me out. So there's that. I was thinking that's really what I think it was. Maybe a yearling. It had to be a yearling. Krampus bear, maybe. Just to let Krampus know. Freaking no blood, no nothing. It was like, because I was thinking, okay, this time of year, I talked to Dave earlier, and Dave said that sometimes they don't hibernate anymore, because hibernation is basically not about the cold. They have enough, they can fatten themselves up and not freeze to death. They are animals. They can live outside like that. They have protection against most of the elements, but at the same time, it was more about food. Now you have landfills, you have people's trash sitting outside. It's that time of year where people are throwing massive amounts of food away. So I think it was a bear. I think it was a young bear. Maybe he was like, I don't need to go sleep somewhere for a few months. I can just keep eating. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it was a yearling. But still kind of freaky, because I'm like an hour and a half from the mountains. We've had one instance where somebody hit a black bear on their way home. I personally myself, over the past 10 years, have passed a bear in the woods while I was going to go deer hunt one day. But that's another thing that kind of freaked me out, because I passed a healthy looking, full grown black bear, and we just kind of stared each other down as we walked past each other. He didn't look like he was interested in coming after me. I definitely didn't want to come after him. So we kind of live and let live, and just kept on going about where we were going. At the same time, though, it was like August. It was like August, or well, no, because the season hadn't started yet. So it was like October or something like that. I think it was. So, but it was warm. They had just now started. So I don't know. So I've had that happen before. But this was kind of this kind of freaked me out because it's in a neighborhood. There's lots of people around, and so yeah. Well, you guys have like devils. You have the Tasmanian devil in New Zealand, don't you? Like those things are way more great. You can't walk past one of those and just keep on getting it. Where is he? Okay, you can't see him. He knows I'm on stream. He started doing it earlier. Started doing a little spinny thing, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not streaming right now." And he literally just like looked really sad. What is up, Heather? How are you doing? How was your Christmas? I know she totally enjoyed the gift that I got her this year. So there's that. So yeah. So there was that. That was my Christmas night. That kind of freaked me out. So let's get back to the collectibles and the fun stuff. So I'm going to start out with baseball cards. We're going to go with baseball cards first, the smallest. Just started collecting cards a few months ago again. There he is. Diva. What a diva. Look at that. Look, he knows. Look, he's stealing thunder. Hey, what are you doing? You know what you're doing. Yeah, totally a diva. Anyway, so let's go with cards. We'll do these first. I'm glad you loved it, Heather. I figured you would. So we'll go with this one. This is a John Smoltz rookie card that Southpaw Brad gave me earlier this year. That a few months ago, that kicked off my card buying extravaganza. Because why not? I mean, I don't collect enough things already. John Smoltz, very underrated pitcher, Hall of Famer now. Always was decent. I mean, never. I don't think he really had a bad season ever. It was either decent or he was really good. So yeah, I was really happy to get this. I'm a huge fan of the '90s Braves. And these are in order. There are 10 of them, so that's number 10. Number 9 is this Kirby Puckett retro card. I remember him being in this pose in the cards that I had as a young man. I don't exactly think I had this style of card for him. This is what year? Couldn't be 70. Couldn't be 70. No, 72 tops. Yeah, so I definitely don't remember having a 72 tops of him, but I know I had some cards of him in this pose. Kirby Puckett was always one of my favorites. Even though Minnesota Twins were never a team that was phenomenally good. But he always, yep. He's a diva. He's trying to steal my thunder. Pigs. Oh man, we have pigs here now too. We have lots of pigs here now too. Yeah, it's kind of a thing. People are just like, oh, there's a few hogs here. No, there's lots of them, and they're way out of control and really nothing. So next is one I got from Slim's Comics and More. My buddy Sean, he sent me this one. Me and him were ripping packs, and I claimed this one day. I've never had a card like this. This is newer. This is a Freddie Freeman. Was this Clear Vision. Clear Vision. And who makes this? Panini? Oh, yeah, this is the Chronicles pack that he opened. So this is the clear Freddie Freeman. Gotta love it. I didn't even know they were doing cards like this now. So yeah, that was an incredible find for this year. Shout out to Sean for that. I got you a package coming tomorrow. I'm gonna put it in the mail tomorrow. You should have it probably by the end of the week. Next up is another rookie card that Southpaw Brad gave me, and that would be Tom Glavin's rookie card, Fleer rookie card. I was a huge Tom Glavin fan when I was a kid. Tom Glavin, he was a left-hander like me. I always thought he was a phenomenal pitcher. Greg Maddox was also on this team too, and he usually got most of the praise. What's up, JD? How are you doing? Nice to see you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. So Greg Maddox got a whole lot of the props because he was like the best pitcher on the team at the time. Tom Glavin was number 2, and Tom Glavin's no slouch. He's also now a Hall of Famer. 90s Braves team, incredible pitcher. I always thought. I was always bringing him up to people in the same vein as like when people would be like, oh, Nolan Ryan and Greg Maddox and Roger Clemens, and I was like Tom Glavin, and they're like Tom Glavin. I was like, well, tell me any bad year that he had. I mean, maybe his first year he was kind of because he was a rookie, but then after that he was throwing great. So I was ecstatic to get this. I was huge. That was one of my underrated picks as a young man. Let's see here. What's up, Swag? Nice to see you. Mitch the pitch. Why do I know that? Why do I know that from somewhere? Huh. What is up, Uncanny Swag? Next, let's see, how many more we got left? I think 5. 6. So this will be 6. 6 is, this is another one. This is an extra that Sean sent me that he didn't tell me he was going to send me. Huge Red Sox fan. If you don't know already, now you know. I love the Red Sox. I have for a while. Since the same time I was pretty much a Braves fan when I was a kid. I was a Braves fan in the National League and American League since they never crossed paths until the end of the year. I was a Red Sox fan. And the Red Sox were always horrible, but they had the same kind of color scheme as the Braves, so I didn't have to worry about, clothes and stuff like that. I could still match those color schemes pretty well. So this is a Pedro Martinez. This card is awesome. I love this. This is an Ionics, Upper Deck Ionics card. I absolutely love this card. I love Pedro Martinez. Incredible pitcher. It's amazing how he went the first half of his career being pretty much nobody knew who he was. And then towards the middle of his career and towards the back half, he became incredible. Just phenomenal. Not that he got better, he just got more solid. He had a lot of control, lots of control on his pitches. He had amazing control even when he was tired. So yeah, I love Pedro Martinez. That was a great find this year. What is up, Actual Dracula? How you doing, Adrian? I hope you're having a good evening. Let's see here. There's another one. All right. So next up is Greg Maddox. I got an Ionics Upper Deck Greg Maddox card as well from Sean. He knows I'm a huge Greg Maddox fan, huge 90s Braves fan. Greg Maddox was literally incredible. When he was with the Cubs, he was solid, very decent. Once he got up a few years there, they didn't have any interest in keeping him. He went to Atlanta and became phenomenal. I don't know if it was something he had to prove or if it was just pitching coaches down there got more in tune with him and showed him a little more favor. But yeah, he ended up being incredible. Greg Maddox is up there with any of the Nolan Ryans and Roger Clemens and all those good, amazing pitchers. The next one is a Chipper Jones rookie card that Southpaw Brad gave me this year. This is wow. This is probably I don't think I ever had a Chipper Jones rookie card. I don't think when I was younger, but I did have a couple Chipper Jones cards, but they were still hard to come by. They were really coveted, especially around here. So having his rookie card, absolutely phenomenal. I do have a lot of Chipper Jones cards now because of Sean sent me some goodies. But this is just too great. I mean, I was really happy when I got this card. And then it opened up the floodgates. Let's see, we're down to our last 3. Top 3 is a Jackie Robinson Topps Brooklyn Dodgers throwback retro card. I was so happy when I found this and got this out. I just couldn't believe. I was like, whoa, they're making like older player cards now. This is great. So yeah, Jackie Robinson, if you do not know, phenomenal baseball player. He gets credited with being the first African American player to play in the major leagues, which is not true. There have been other players who played before him, who actually played in games, who were employed by Major League Baseball teams, but they weren't phenomenal. This guy was phenomenal. His hitting was phenomenal. His base running was phenomenal. He was leagues above everybody else. It did not matter. His fielding was so fundamental but so good. Like his speed, he could catch up with any pitch, no matter where it was going. He could get it back to the infield. I mean, he can get it, to whoever he needed to get it to. No, second baseman. He could get it to whoever he needed to get it to. His fielding was phenomenal. I loved Jackie Robinson as a player. If you ever want to see some cool stuff, look up his old footage, because there's old footage on YouTube of him playing, and it's just phenomenal how great this guy was. It's mind blowing. He did break a lot of barriers though, because people really started to at first he got a lot of hate for it. Years down the road, people were just like, how are we hating this guy? Like, so phenomenal. So he definitely is a legend in that right as well. And nobody can ever take that away from Jackie Robinson. Next to this one, I was shocked to get out of a mosaic set. This is a Will to Win card. Nolan Ryan, if you know anything about baseball, Nolan Ryan's probably the best pitcher. I think he's got more no-hitters than any other pitcher has ever thrown. He had a career that spanned years. It was 20 years he played in the major leagues. From the time he was a young man, because even in his 50s when he retired, he was 55 when he retired. So I think he played for 25 years in the major leagues or 35 years in the major leagues or something ridiculous like that, something they never did nowadays. It's unthinkable. But yeah, he played the whole time. Incredible pitcher. His speed, he was the first pitcher to pitch triple digits, I believe, or get close to it. I know 99 and 98 was a big deal back when I was younger, and he was the guy who always hit those speeds. So I was really stoked to get this card in. I was really happy. Pulled this out of a mosaic pack. I freaked out. So this is definitely way up there. It's number 2 on my list for this year. Shut up, Heather. Texas Express, exactly. What is up, Roscoe? Roscoe has joined us. How are you, Roscoe? Brother Roscoe. I'm going to start referring to all the Spine Ticks guys. I'm going to preface all your names with brother now. Brother Phil, Brother Roscoe, Brother Dave, Brother Sith, Brother Rude. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that, Brother Mike, just because it sounds cultish. Why not? Number 1 pull for this year, number 1 card that I was so excited to pull. I could not believe it. This is hands down. When I was a kid growing up, this guy was the guy. He was the man. He was great at fielding. He had tons of speed. His power was phenomenal, but he changed the way people swing. He got so much flack for not swinging the same way that everybody else that always would swing the bat. But now we know, you can scientifically look it up, he has the perfect swing. It is perfect. It is fluid. It gains momentum. So he doesn't have to swing as hard as people thought he would have had to have swung the bat. And that would be King Griffey Jr. King Griffey Big Fly Mosaic is just phenomenal. Max distance, what is this, 451? Yeah, 451. This card is incredible. See if I can get this thing to focus. I think it's focused. So yeah, I absolutely love this card. There you go, reflector. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. So yeah, I was so ecstatic that I pulled this card out. Huge King Griffey fan. They just re-released his old signature sneakers too this year. They immediately sold out. I'll probably never get a pair because I'm not paying that much for sneakers, because I think when they originally came out, they were like $120 120, 150, somewhere in there. And I was like, oh, that's doable. They immediately sold out, and then they started being secondary sold for like $250. So sorry, I'm probably not going to get a pair. But yeah, Ken Griffey was it. Like anybody around my age, you can ask him. Ken Griffey Jr. was the man. Like, I mean, he was just that good. He was phenomenal, incredible athlete. Let's see what we got. Let's see who else. Oh, Journey, gender fluid swing. It was definitely a fluid swing. It was incredible. What is up, CJ? Are you feeling better, CJ? Are you good? Quick, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like, I mean, because we wouldn't know. I hope you are feeling better, man. I really, really do. So, yeah. Thank you, Heather. See, we're all worried about you. Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Yeah. And when you told me what was going on, I was like, ugh, can't make a joke out of this, even though. There you go. Yeah, see? Yeah, well, there you go. That's the way you got to look at it. I mean, that's the way I would look at it, too. So. And what's up, Rafaust Comics? How are you doing today? I saw you earlier today. Was it earlier today? I think it was earlier today in the chat for the Queen's chat. I think I saw you. Was it the Queen's chat? No, it was in Sean's chat. You were in Sean's chat earlier. That's right, where he was doing his haul and he was busting open some packs of cards. So there we go. All right. So next I'm going to do records. I'm going to save comic books for last because I'm assuming most of you are here for comic books. So maybe that'll make you stick around to the end. So we'll do records next. So let's start this out. Let me get this out of the way so I can have all my desk space because these things are huge. All right, so records. This year I actually got to go to a concert again. So, you know, for a while, everything opened back up and I got to go to a concert and I got to go see a band that I knew from when I was younger. One of the, you know, first heavy bands that I heard that was a newer band that I really, really enjoyed. Me and my friends were all fans of these guys. I was shocked to know they were still out and still playing and still putting out records. And that would be Zayo. I'm going to go see them live in concert. They were phenomenal. And they were also 100% incredible dudes. Very chill, very down to earth, you know, just, you know, I mean, anything we asked them or we talked to them about, they were just cutting up with us. It is autographed. I got 3 of the guys in the band to sign it. The drummer dipped off stage, go do something, then go to the bathroom or something like that before he was going to tear his set down. I hurried up, got some signatures, couldn't see him, didn't want to wait around. So I finally just headed out. I can probably get him to sign it again. Originally, if I catch him again. So I was super ecstatic to get this. Love this artwork. I love this whole layout, the whole Zayo and the artwork. Incredible. Yeah. And then the signatures. Great. All right. Let's see here. Next, I found this at the local Walmart. I seen this, had to get it. Could not pass it up. They are officially now defunct as a band. They are no longer a thing, but this is Daft Punk's second album. This is Discovery. I love Daft Punk. Thought this was great. There wasn't a whole lot of electronica stuff that I really liked, but the way they did stuff was phenomenal. I think there's 2 of them. They worked with Pharrell. That's probably the newest thing that they did, but Discovery and whatever the first album's called. It started with a D, I believe, too. Can't remember. But yeah, I love Daft Punk. Got this at Walmart, seen it, and I was like, oh, got to grab this. Double disc, incredible. One More Time, harder, better, faster, stronger. I mean, you know, Something About Us. There's some great tracks on here. Face to Face is on here. Love this. As soon as I seen it, I think this is like $18 for like a double album. So I was like, can't pass that up. So definitely scoop this up, and I've blasted this a lot this year. Great workout music. I would definitely recommend it. Next, Yeah, actual. Yeah, I figured you'd like that. Tron Legacy soundtrack. You're welcome, CJ. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, speaking of Alive and live albums, this is kind of along that same vein, but not really. Seen this at Walmart as well. This is a Walmart exclusive. Kiss Love Gun. Probably my favorite Kiss album. Yes, I do like Kiss Alive. I have it as well. Because it was more of a greatest hits thing and it was a live thing. But this is, oh my God. Love Gun is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Look at the painted cover. Gotta love it. And the reason it's a Walmart exclusive, I was wondering how fast I was going to be able to crack this puppy out, is the vinyl is orange tangerine splatter vinyl. So that's what if you get a Walmart exclusive one, that's what it would be. It will be a splatter tangerine teal splatter vinyl. Couldn't pass it up. Had to grab it. Absolutely thought this was phenomenal. I blasted this a lot this year too. And so far the other ones have just been regular. They're not. They don't have any color to them or anything. Next, found this at Walmart for like $13. And I couldn't pass this up because originally this was not made in vinyl. This was just CD and cassette because that's all, this is the 90s. Garth Brooks, No Fences, tons of hit songs on this thing. Thunder Rolls, New Way to Fly, Two of a Kind Working on a Full House, Friends in Low Places. Yeah, Same Old Story, Unanswered Prayers. Wolves. This thing is I think there's only 2 songs on here that are not hits. The rest of them were all hits. So this was part of, in the 90s, Garth was the man. Like, he could do no wrong. He was knocking it out the park. Country people liked him. Non-country people liked him. It was great. Nauman, he's from, Nauman, Garth's from your area. He's an Oklahoma boy. So, No Fences. This was the first time this was ever put out on vinyl. And I got this at Walmart for I think it was like $13. And I seen it. And as soon as I seen it for $13, I was like, oh yeah, this is coming home. Like, I don't even care. I'll cut some groceries back if I got to take this home. So, yeah. Heather, they still have them at Walmart. They have a few other ones, too, that they have put out that I need to go up there and get. But this one had the most hits on it. This is phenomenal. I played this a lot this year, too. Garth is the man. If it was a colored vinyl, it would make it even better. This one is a birthday present from this year from Heather, so she knows what this one is. I got this earlier this year. Most people, when they talk about music, they talk about the British invasion and they think Beatles. I'm not a huge fan of the Beatles. I know, don't shoot me. I'm not a huge fan of the Beatles, but that's because in the 90s, when I was coming up, there was another bunch of British dudes who was part of our British invasion. They were, I guess, called alt rock or whatever. But that was Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory, double vinyl, incredible. I love this album. This is one of my favorite albums of every time I listen to the songs on here. Hello, Roll With It, Wonderwall's on here, of course. Don't Look Back in Anger. Whew, love that song. Hey Now is on here. She's Electric, Morning Glory, and then of course Champagne Supernova. This album, when I was a kid, we listened to this all the time. We sang as kids, even kids who lived, basically were raised around, Southern rock and country. We would sing these songs and knew all the words to them. We thought these guys were phenomenal. They were a pop band, I guess people would consider it, but they were also real rough around the edges because the brothers who were in this band would literally get into fist fights on stage, curse each other out, be hammered drunk all the time. So they were definitely not, a boy band kind of thing. They had some rough edges to them. So we thought they were insanely cool. I love this album. I played this album a whole lot this year. So yeah. It's actually really heavy. Oh, Nolan has Garth's Legacy box set. Nice. Thank you, Dave. Daft Punk. Yes, sir. Oasis. New wave during the 80s was British invasion. Yeah, like there was like a British invasion like I think the 70s there wasn't one, but like, yeah, the 80s there was one. It was mostly the new wave bands. In the 90s you had bands like Verve Pipe and Oasis, and I guess you could count. Well, Sinead O'Connor was Irish, I think. So, but she was from the British Isles, we'll say. So there was that all too. So yeah. All right, next is an album I got back in February. I found this at a local record store. Had to snatch it up. This is Typo Negative, World Coming Down. They just did a 20th anniversary reissue of their albums. They did another one of oh my God, I'm blanking on the album now. But anyway, they're doing a bunch of these re-releases. And I seen this at a record store, and I had to snatch it up. I was like, oh, it's definitely, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Typo Negative. They were what you consider a heavier band, but they did have they did get a whole lot of radio play and stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s. Sadly, we've lost Peter Steele. Peter Steele died of cancer in like 2005, 7, somewhere in there. It was early 2000s when he passed away from cancer. From what I've heard, he was an incredible human being. I've never heard anything bad about him. Everybody probably has bad days, but from what I've heard, he was a phenomenal human being. The dudes all thought he was cool. The chicks all thought he was hot. He had it all going for him. This band put out like 4 or 5 phenomenal albums. So yeah, as soon as I seen this, I had to snatch it up. And part of the reason that I got it was, it's got it's got a bag and a board, right? Yeah. Also, these albums, it came with a poster, which I need to put up, but it also was green and black swirl vinyl smoke kind of stuff. Both albums are like that. I couldn't leave this. And it really wasn't that expensive either. It was actually really nice how cheap this was. I'll show you the poster. I'm probably going to end up putting the poster up on my wall. This is actually really phenomenal. Typo Negative, World Coming Down. Everybody in this band was insanely talented. Their keyboard player was insanely talented. Their guitar player was insanely talented. Peter Steele's bass playing was really, really good. It's phenomenal how like his sound has influenced a whole lot of bass players that I know. I know for a fact that when I talked to the guys from Paul Bear, I was like, dude, I don't know crap about bass, but your bass tone hits me like dead in the chest every time I listen to y'all play. Like, I love your bass tone. And he was like, who you thinking, who you think when you think my bass tone? And I was like, I have no idea. And he was like, I was a huge Typo Negative fan. I love Peter Steele. And I was like, okay, yeah, now that kind of makes sense. Now that when he said that, it immediately was like, oh yeah, he does have that same kind of tone going on. He plays it the same kind of way. So yeah, had to grab that when I saw it. Grabbed this a few weeks ago, I think it was, at Walmart. Seen it. Black Album, 30th anniversary, Black Smoke vinyl. I mean, everybody loved, I think this is one of the highest selling metal albums of all time. Probably still is because of stuff like this. They keep reissuing it. People keep buying it. Black Album was a huge, huge thing for Metallica. Enter Sandman is a song that everybody knows. It's played at sporting events everywhere, all over the place. What's up, Dan? How are you doing? I'm doing good, sir. What's up, Empire? Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good weekend, buddy. Good Monday. I was lucky and had the day off. Tomorrow we go back in. We work 3 days, and then we're off for the weekend again. This Metallica vinyl, when I grabbed it, had to snatch it up. Comes with liner notes. Whatever that is. What is that? Oh, I think that's a tear on the thing. Okay. It is a marbled smoke. Let's see if I can get it to marbled vinyl. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, marbled. Ooh. Marbled black vinyl. I thought this was phenomenal. Seeing it at Walmart, and I was like, you know what? I've kind of noticed that throughout this year, I've been buying a bunch of Metallica albums, and I kind of like. I guess I low key thought in the back of my mind that this would be my unofficial record goal for this year would be to get all the Metallica albums. I am way short, but I took a pretty good chunk out of it this year. They have on the Walmart website Kill 'Em All, but they don't have it at the store. So if I see Kill 'Em All at the store, I'm probably going to end up snatching it, even though it's not my goal for 2022. I have another goal in mind. But so now we're down to the top three. Top three, yeah. So got this during the comic crawl this year. Misfits, Walk Amongst Us. I was a huge Misfits fan from the time I was like 10, 9, 10, till the time I was, till now. I mean, I still love the Misfits. Yeah, this band was like right up there with the Ramones for me. They changed the stuff that I listened to, pushed me in a heavier direction. I absolutely love Misfits. When I seen this at the comic crawl, had to snatch it up. I was like, oh yeah. I was kind of hoping I would find the Ramones' first album that weekend, but I ended up not finding it. But this definitely had to bring this home. This album's incredible. I mean, you got 20 Eyes. Yeah, I Turned Into a Martian. All Hell Breaks Loose. Vampira. Nike A Go Go. Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight live version. Night of the Living Dead, Skulls, Astro Zombies, Brain Eaters. I mean, all the songs on this album are phenomenal. So, absolutely love that I got that Misfits album. Nope, and I'm not. So next is, like I said, I would go to Walmart, I would see a Metallica album, and I'd be like, oh, and if I had the money extra, I would grab it. So this one, when I was a young man, I wore out like 2 or 3 CDs of this. I listened to this album while I slept. I listened to it while I played video games, while I did homework, whatever I had to do. I wore this album out. This is my favorite Metallica album that they've ever done. This is my favorite lineup they've ever had. This is also the tour where we lost Cliff Burton. This is Master of Puppets. I've been listening to this a lot too this year. It just brings back so many good memories. And at the same time, the songs are phenomenal on this album. I mean, you got Battery, Master of Puppets, Things That Should Not Be, Welcome Home Sanitarium, Disposable Heroes, Leper Messiah, Damage Incorporated, which I have a tattoo of, and Orion, which was like a bass, like instrumental. So it like started out, the bass was the main part behind the whole song, and it carried the whole song, and it was up front for everybody to hear, and there were no vocals. I think there was like a spoken word part somewhere into it somewhere. So it was kind of like Fade to Black, but it was mostly the bass. It was just Cliff, and the rest of the guys were like the guys supporting him. So yeah, this album's absolutely phenomenal. I am 36 years old. Yeah, Misfits are nice, wholesome young men. Couldn't ask for anything nicer. So everybody. Metallica's required listing for any heart. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this when I got this at Walmart, I was like, oh, I'll just grab it. And I think this was pretty cheap too. This was like $18 or something like that. It wasn't even really that expensive, and I thought it would be, probably because it's not a double. But yeah, Cliff Burton and the boy, I mean, look at him then, and then look at him now. It's like, I mean, it's just night and day difference. Like, so yeah, had to grab this, and I played the crap out of it. Probably going to play the crap out of it tomorrow, too, before I go to work, so I won't wake up the neighbors. And then the last, is my number one pick for this year. Because it was free. I didn't have to pay for it. A friend of mine's mom had a friend that she worked with forever, like 20-something years. She passed away, and she didn't have any family, so she left all her stuff to her work friends. And so they went to her house, and they all went through all her stuff, and they all just took what they wanted, and then the rest was all given to like Goodwills or something like, thrift stores or something like that. And my friend saw that she had records, and he brought me all her records. Nobody else wanted them. They were like, we don't care about those things. They don't even make record players anymore. that brought me all these records. And this was the number one hit out of the whole thing. Michael Jackson's Thriller, original press out from 1982. It's worn, but it's not really in all that horrible a shape. The lady took care of her stuff, but she definitely listened to this album. And anybody knows anything about music, Michael Jackson Thriller is like one of the greatest selling, it's probably the greatest selling album of all time. Probably beats anything that anybody else has ever done. It's got to be up there. It's at least got to be in top 5. I mean, I don't know exact numbers, but yeah, Thriller, phenomenal album. I mean, you got Billie Jean, you got Beat It, you got Thriller on here, just those 3 right there. Yeah, so I mean, this album was a pretty young thing. Yeah, The Lady in My Life. This album was phenomenal, and I didn't pay a dime for it. I did give her local record store all the other records that I didn't want, but I kept a whole bunch of them. And she had some good stuff out of that collection. CCR albums. I got 3 Creedence albums because of that. I got some Foreigner, some, REO Speedwagon, just, stuff you would expect to get. She had this, and then another one that I was shocked she had that I can't believe that I have now is Iron Butterfly Live. They have a live album, and it's really phenomenal. But this is my pick for the year. Didn't cost me a dime. Like I said, I can't complain about my year because stuff like this happened. And I just can't believe it. I love this album. It's great. One of the greatest entertainers of all time, songwriters. I mean, who's got more hits than MJ? So there's that. So that's records, that's sports cards. Let's see. Yeah, you got Madonna's first record out of that box. I gave you Madonna. I gave you Fleetwood Mac. You got a lot of good stuff out of that deal. Dan says he saw Metallica 10 years ago in San Francisco Cow Palace. Godsmack opened up for him. That was probably a good show. I'm looking for some posters right now, some concert posters. There's one that's like Metallica and Exodus, or is it Megadeth and Exodus? I think it's Megadeth and Exodus. The one I'm looking for Metallica, the one I found, I think that I wanted was like Metallica, Alice in Chains, and Candlebox, which doesn't sound like it would be the same thing, but okay, whatever. Yeah, like, I mean, you can find copies of, Thriller everywhere. Everywhere. He might be distracted about the bear. Is there a bear out there, Salem? You want to go get it? You want to kick his butt? No. Okay. I didn't think so. My favorite shows like that were the ones that Manson did or Gwar. Gwar did one with Jerry Springer, I think. And they asked him general questions. Like, they were asking the band's questions, and he was there to, they were there to be like, look at what you did to our son. And Dave Brocky was like, is murder wrong? And the kid's like, of course. And he was like, should you do a whole bunch of drugs and die? And the kid's like, no, why would I want to do that? And he was like, you want to do horrible things to people? And he was like, sometimes if they make me mad. He was like, sounds like you got a good kid to me. It doesn't seem like he's going to be a pushover. Yeah, I mean, you're raising him. He's just listening to our music. So I always thought that was great. Oh, that is my kitty. He's too cute. So there's that. Now for what you've all come for. My top 10 reads for this year. This is not individual books. This is series that I read this year for comic books. We got more than 10 books here, but that's because I'm going to cheat a little bit because it's my list and I'll cheat if I want to. I remember when the Grammys had the first ever heavy metal album of the year category, and Jethro Tull won it instead of Metallica's not the Black Album. It was Injustice for All, I believe. It might have been Master of Puppets. It might have been. It was one of those 3. It wasn't one of the earlier ones. But yeah, apparently, according to the Grammys, Jethro Tull was a better, whatever album they had out at the time, which I don't even care which one it was, Jethro Tull versus Metallica. They had a better heavy metal album than Metallica did that year. And that was just like, that was literally a moment where everybody who listened to metal was like, okay, so these people who picked the Grammy things have no idea what they're talking about. They're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. They, you know, so their award is not to be taken seriously. In fact, the next year Metallica came up when they won for whatever album they put out the next time. They won, and when they got up on stage, the first thing Lars said into the microphone was, "I'm really glad that Jethro Tull didn't put out a record this year." So, wait, Iggy Pop performed on American Idol? Which song? Please tell me, Gore, which song? Please, was it "I Want to Be Your Dog," or was it the "Lustful Life"? I bet you it was "Lustful Life," wasn't it? I bet you. Yeah. I have not. They're the only ones out of the big four I've not seen. I've seen Anthrax. I saw Megadeth, and I saw. Oh my God, big four. Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, and I saw Slayer and Megadeth and Anthrax like the same year, all in one time. So I need to get on Metallica. So back to comic books. All right, let's do comic books. Number 10 for me this year in order. Number 10. Daniel Warren Johnson's Beta Ray Bill miniseries that he did earlier this year. I thought the artwork in this book was phenomenal. I love his artwork. It definitely fits what he's doing. It might have not fit other things, but, you know, for Beta Ray Bill, it definitely fit. Mike Spicer did the colors, who's also featured later in on the list. He was a colorist on another book that I think is going to be an underrated colorist. He's phenomenal at you know, making these things pop. Love this story. Love Beta Ray Bill as a character. I was so happy he got his own little mini series and we had like a Beta Ray Bill story. I think everybody just about that I can think picked this up and enjoyed it. And I think this is like Daniel Warren Johnson's first big thing where it was like him. He wrote and inked. He wrote the thing, he drew all the panels, and he inked it, and then Mike Spicer colored it. I thought this was incredible. This is one of the first things that I picked up when I started reading, and I was so happy I did because it's a Beta Ray Bill story and Daniel Warren Johnson, and got to introduce me to him. He's also a huge wrestling fan like me. He also likes heavier music like me. So I think I found a kindred spirit. Pretty much anything he works on is pretty much going to end up on my pull list now. So definitely shout out to him. Thought this was incredible. Number 9, it's going to shock a lot of people, but he's also a little bit later in here. I think this was this guy's year. Pretty much everything he put out, either I got or other people got, but it seemed to be really enjoyable by everybody. And that would be Tom Taylor, his run on Nightwing. I thought has been really consistent. The issues are really fun. They have some nice messages hidden in them here and there. The covers, Jamal Campbell doing an amazing job on these covers for like the past 5 or 6 issues. I've absolutely been loving the run on Nightwing. I'm a huge Nightwing fan anyway. Tom Taylor knocking it out of the park, doing lots of good things, got lots of good things in the works. I really have been enjoying this. Even the Fear State stuff, he kind of made it like a joke that he was having to do tie-ins for Fear State because he had other stories. You know, he had stories in this series that he would rather have been telling, and I totally agree with him. Sometimes the events just get in the way and slow things down, and you'd rather just not have them in there. But he made those issues enjoyable too. They were hilarious. They were fun. They were nice little throwaway one-shot issues. Actually, I think he strung his together to where they were like a little 3-issue mini, but they were the actual canon stuff. So yeah, been loving some Nightwing. Gore, are you talking about Daniel Warren Johnson doing the Wonder Woman miniseries, or are you talking about Tom Taylor? The Wild One in 2011. I mean, I'm not surprised. That would be the show. That would be one of the songs he could perform on that and get away with it. Yeah, it doesn't shock me that people who watch American Idol wouldn't know who Iggy Pop is. So, next, I know this is going to shock a lot of people. This is lower down on the list. This is number 8 for me this year. But the art kind of did take me out of it a little bit, but the story's been incredible. There was one issue people seem to have a lot of problem with because he showed a sensitive side, but you got to think the man's been through a whole lot of crap. He's eventually going to have a breakdown. It's going to have to happen. We as human beings do it. And I've been thinking this is a very interesting story. Can't wait to see how it goes. One of my favorite characters, what people would consider a B character, Moon Knight, by Jed McKay, who actually doing really good as far as the story goes. I'm loving this story. The story is definitely keeping me intrigued. It's definitely something I'm enjoying reading. But he also did the one-shot Avengers Annual, and it was really good as well, too. So I can't, it's the first thing I've ever read from Jed McKay. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm really liking his writing. The art is kind of sometimes it just seems like you can tell it's digitally done, and it was just something that was it just seems like it would be something to be simple to do, but at the same time sometimes it's absolutely incredible, especially covers. This is the John Romita cover for number 1. I also have the regular Steve McNiven. His covers have been incredible. They've been blowing people's minds. I've been a fan of Steve McNiven for years, so yeah, I'm loving it. I think this is going to be a great series. Can't wait to see how it goes. Can't wait for the show next year on Disney Plus. I hope they do him justice. And I can't wait to see how this ends. I'm really, really intrigued. Jed McKay's writing is really got me. It's got me, to where I want to continue to read more, and I might just start following him as a writer. What's up, Phil? Phil is in. How are you doing, Phil? You missed the bear story, Phil. You missed it. Next up, number 7 is, this is where Mike Spicer comes back in. Swamp Thing, Ram V. I know a lot of people said Layla Starr. I was in late on Layla Starr, and I didn't know who Ram V was, so I didn't know for everyone to, everybody to be like, oh, you need to Ram V. So I missed on Layla Starr. I'll have to get it in trade because now I want to read his stuff. Right now, he's also doing Justice League Dark, and I read the first issue of it, the annual that came out. I'm going to reread it to make sure I catch everything that I need to catch, but I enjoyed that too. This Swamp Thing run has been so good. So good. Oh my God, it's so good. And then you got Mike Perkins doing the art, and then you got Mike Spicer doing the colors. It's a phenomenal team. It's a knockout team. I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, you got great story by Ram V, very intellectual, very deep back into the lore. Not an Alec Holland story. We've moved on to a new person who is representing the green. Mike Perkins' artwork is phenomenal. This is the Brian Boland cover of number 10. There's been some Brian Boland covers that came out that I think is just phenomenal because you got to love Brian Boland. And Mike Spicer's colors in this book and in the Beta Ray Bill, but this book in particular, his coloring has really, really blown my mind. I really think it's incredible. So yeah, there's that. Number 7 on my list. It would be a little higher, but there's been a lot of good stuff come out that's really caught me. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. And it got extended, so now it's going to 16 issues instead of the 10. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a break because there's another Swamp Thing coming out with Jeff Lemire and Doug Mankey. So there's that. But I can't wait to see what issue 11 brings. The cliffhanger on this was phenomenal. I mean, yeah, how could you pick what song to tell him? Oh, nice. Queens of the Stone Age with his backing band. I bet you they love that. No, no, Mary Collects did not wrestle a bear. Tylox thought he saw a bear. Aggressively relax and don't want to leave you out. Kind of missed you there. Sorry. I've been all in my feelings about these comic books. So, yeah. Next, another Tom Taylor. Who's doing the art on this? Putri. Dark Knights of Steel. This is kind of cheating because this is kind of new. 1 of 10. But I am completely on board. I am down. I think the watercolor art on this is incredible. I think the medieval versions of these characters are incredible. I think the story is phenomenal. I'll go out there and say right now, you can literally, you can say what you want, but it's not going to convince. This is the best thing that Tom Taylor's writing, period, that I've known him to write, period. This is it. Better than Dark Ages, better than Superboy or Superman. The Superman, I think it is. It's better than Dark Ages. It's better than Nightwing. This is phenomenal. I love Dark Knights of Steel. I know this is only a 12-issue series, but I'm on board for all 12 issues. I really can't express how much this has grabbed me very soon on in the series. I think there's only 2 issues in, and I'm 100% on board. Putri doing the art. I want to say, if you would have asked me a couple days ago who was the artist on this book, I could have told you their whole name, their backstory, and everything. Now I can't remember anything while I'm on stream. Yasmin Putri. So yes, Yasmin, she is doing a phenomenal job on the art in this book, the whole watercolor thing going on. Kind of like a Momoko thing going on, but I'll be 100% honest with you. I think this is much better than Peach Momoko. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend this to anybody, especially if you're a Tom Taylor fan. You need to jump on that. Definitely Damien. Oh my God, the art is so good. It's really blowing me away. Why do I feel like comic crack right now when I'm talking about this stuff? I think I'm using phrases that he uses a lot. Nice. Yeah. 100%. What's up, Brandon Looney Tunes fans 2000? How are you doing? Yeah, that's my favorite character. What's up, Doc? Loved some Bugs Bunny. Yeah. So next up is a book that I have been touting, and I think that people have told me a few other channels have been saying it's really, really good, but it's nobody else's radar. I've not heard anybody else mention it. So there's me and like 2 other people who've been on this book who absolutely love it. Especially love this issue. This is Flash 776. Wally West is the Flash once again. I kind of missed why that came into being. I caught the tail end of why he's back being the Flash. But, it's either him or Barry, and I'm fine with either one. I'm not partial to either one. I do like Barry, but Wally's okay. So, I love this cover. I've been loving this series. Every issue of Flash, I have been really, really enjoying the artwork. It gives me like a Silver Age kind of feel going on to it, something older. It reminds me of something from the 60s, 70s, kind of feel going on to it, like late 60s, early 70s feel. Colors are incredible in this book. The stories have been phenomenal. Jeremy Adams is the writer, and the art flips back and forth from Brandon Peterson, who did this cover, this Dr. Fate cover that I absolutely love, to was it Parasine, who it's like if one of them does the interior, the other one does the color or covers. And I think that's incredible because they're both doing a phenomenal job. So it's not like I'm partial to any one. The styles aren't the same, but they're getting the same effect. And I've been enjoying I don't think there's not one issue of Flash that I have pulled since I've been reading again in May that I have not thoroughly enjoyed. that I thought's great. So yeah, and this issue in particular is very interactive. If you've got kids that you want to get into comics, buy them this. I think they would really get have a hoot out of it. They would really enjoy it. They would have so much fun reading it. Don't think it's weird if they start turning their book sideways or upside down. It kind of reminds me of the whole Goosebumps books where you would pick which page you wanted to go to based on what decision you wanted to make. Huge fan of this book. Inter-Canadian, yeah. I don't know. Like, for some reason, I just feel Terrence just. It's like he's putting the words out for me. Next up is where I'm going to cheat. So let's see. We're on this will be number 4 on my list. I'm going to cheat, but it's my list. I'll cheat if I want to, and I do have these in order. Out of which ones I enjoyed the most. This year has been the year of Spawn. If you do not know, you've been under a rock. Todd McFarlane is knocking things out of the park, shaking up the whole comic book industry once again. He announced earlier this year there will be more Spawn books coming out besides just Spawn, and it would start with Spawn Resurrection. Wait, Resurrection? Universe. Resurrection was the old one shot that I also have. Start off with Spawn Universe, which would introduce us more Spawn characters, which really didn't introduce new Spawn characters to us. It just kind of delved deeper into their backstories, and then they would all get their own books. And I have, I got all of them and was like, oh, I'll give the first few issues a try, and maybe they might have some first appearances, a little spec going on there. I haven't dropped any of them off my pool. I think Todd's writing has always been hit or miss. It's always been it's good or it's not good. So that's never changed. But the thing I loved about Spawn, especially the original series, was the fact that if you weren't a top-notch artist, he was not going to have you doing the art on that book. He always picked the best artist to be in this book. So the art was always going to be A+, 100 out of 100, 10 out of 10, however you want to describe it. Always going to have great art. Always going to have great colorists. So you always could count on that. The writing was just saying whether you like it or not. So I put the 4 in order of the ones that I like the most. Oh, what's up, Ronnie? Ronnie Boy Comics, who I just ran into, I think, today. Sub to your channel. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Oh, where are you at? Morning, so it must be on the other side of the planet. Let's see. Okay, I didn't miss anything. Too pertinent. Damien will tell you, the first time I had a YouTube channel, I was like, so Spawn, and everybody's like, that's still a thing? People are still reading that? Why are people still reading that? And I was just like, it's incredible. Yeah, I've been on this bandwagon for a long time. When I was a kid, I mean, Todd is God. So, so it's been a thing. So yeah, we'll get started with my 4. Most fun I've had is Gunslinger. I know this is where TM will start screaming at his screen and probably throwing things. Yes, I know you like King better. I'm a huge Brett Booth fan. I think his artwork's phenomenal. I've been loving the story in this so far. There's funny moments, there's gory moments, amazing fight scenes, incredible artwork. I kind of like the whole Western kind of thing. I need to get more into Western books because I really do like Westerns. I was a big fan of Westerns as a kid. There shouldn't be any reason I shouldn't like Westerns in comics. And Gunslinger just checked all the boxes for me. Not only am I getting some of the Brett Booth covers, but I'm also going to get some of the other covers too, just because they're too good to pass up. So I am all in on Gunslinger. I think this is so good. I need to get his first appearance. I hear it's kind of pricey, but what's kind of pricey? Like, I think it's like $100. For me, that's really not pricey. So, maybe I'll do some digging, something like that. Maybe see if I can, work something out, somebody, some way, see if I can find one. But yeah, Gunslinger is the top of my list. Let's see, everybody just talking. Yep. Yeah, you think you heard TM from Michigan going, no! And then there's the original Spawn series. This is the cover that TM says he really, really wanted. I might see if I can just pick you up another copy, man, and send it to you all the way in Canada. Don't care about shipping. You really need this in your collection. You need this in your life, TM. And I make a promise, I make a vow right now as Ty Locks the Mighty to get this book to you in your hands. I'm going to make it happen. Don't even bother looking for it. It's going to happen. I'm going to make this happen for you, man. Yeah, the original Spawn series, I mean, how can you go wrong? Original Spawn, Violator is back. At least for this issue, he was back. Artwork's been incredible in these books. Cover are usually what's the name? Baren's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this style is. This might be digital. I'm pretty sure this is digital. I don't think you can do this like drawing, but I don't care. I think this is incredible. Been loving the original Spawn series. That's number 2 for me. Next up is the one that Travis likes the most, King Spawn. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. It's not bad. What's his name? Javier Fernandez. Yeah, Javier Fernandez has been doing the Carlo Barbary is who's doing the interiors on the regular Spawn book. That's right. Yeah, Javier Fernandez, his interiors are really, really good. I love it. And I love this story. More brutal Spawn. Like this is like, I mean, the stories in here are like kind of scary. I mean, like it's real world kind of stuff, but it's kind of scary to think that, like, you know, demons and angels fighting amongst themselves and squabbling is what's causing all these problems. And King Spawn is just killing things. Like, he's killing everything and anything that moves, does not care. So, yeah, I've been enjoying King Spawn. I haven't dropped it yet. I don't plan on dropping it. It's really been knocking things out of the park. Everything Spawn is just incredible for me right now. It's like overload. I just can't. There's so much coming in that I've been reading the crap out of all of it. Yeah, I loved his artwork when I was a kid, but now it's way better, and I just love it. I can't get enough of it. Now it's in the like 200 range. Okay, it's not undoable. That's not undoable. I'll find it. It'll happen. Yep. Yeah, I know, TM. I know. It does. It kind of does remind me of earlier Spawn, especially the last issue, or what is it? Next to last issue, where Billy Kincaid was back, and he was dealing with Billy Kincaid. Yeah, it really, and the brutality is like the original Spawn kind of thing. New Spawn's more just enveloped in the storyline. There is brutal stuff going on, but it's just more in the storyline kind of thing. King Spawn is just all out brutality. There's gore everywhere. I'm absolutely loving it. Last on the list, Spawn Universe. This came out. This was the introduction to a whole bunch of things going on. Also, Scorched is coming out this week, I think. Not this week, next week. That's on my pull list too. I'm getting a couple covers for it. Spawn Universe. This was probably this was just the beginning of the Spawn thing, giving you backstories for everybody, why things were going in different directions. Insanely huge book. Another thing that I can say about all the Spawn books is the first issues were like $5.99. I think. What was this one? Yeah. So the first issues were all $5.99, but you got insanely huge books for that price, and no ads. They were just straight story and artwork. And then every issue after that is $2.99, and they're cardstock covers. They're great quality paper, so you can do it. And people are eating it up. That's another thing too, is companies like, well, if we put it out, we give you all this good quality stuff and this, that, and the other. How do we know if you're going to keep buying it? Because we're buying it. We are buying all of, like I'm telling you, like 2021 has been the year of Spawn. Like it's COD Mania all over again. So, yes, they are all connected as part of the Spawn universe. Some of them are connected, like Scorched and Spawn would be connected, and Gunslinger Spawn would be connected because they've all interlocked with each other before. But King Spawn is new. He is not interconnected with all. He's connected to them as he has a spawn, and he runs across some of the same peoples, but he is not connected to them in any one way. He's like his own little genre thing going on. But as far as being connected, they connected them with the Spawn universe and then with the first issues. Everything else after that is their own art doing their own thing. So that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, like, so it's connected about as much as you can connect it, but yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for Scorch too. See? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I like comics too. Who knew, Phil? Like, does anybody else in the chat like comics besides me and Phil? I don't know. They might. We'll see. Next up is number 3 on my list, Norse mythology, Neil Gaiman, P. Craig Russell. It's the first Neil Gaiman thing I've ever actually pulled and read. Like, you know, you hear of Sandman, but to go get it, even in hardcover or trade form or something like that, still high. Books are expensive because it's such a good story. He's done many other things too. I was just never there for any of them. This is the first Neil Gaiman thing that I have pulled myself, and I thought this was phenomenal. He had me at Norse mythology because I'm a huge Norse mythology fan. But his storytelling is amazing. Like, he's telling a story, and it's like, yeah, it's your standard story, Norse mythology. It's a comic book story. It's good, this, that, and the other. But then there's always these twist endings at the end that are just phenomenal, that you're so ingrained with it being a comic book story that you don't see the thing coming at the end. And most of the time it's hilarious. Where poetry came from, oh my God, so good. So, yeah. There's already going to be a volume 3 of this. I'm also going to be on the hunt. I've got all volume 2, 6 issues. First volume was 6 issues. I need to go track those down. I need to find those. And I'm assuming volume 3, which is about to come out in the next couple of months, is going to be the same thing. It's going to be 6 issues. So if you didn't pull this last time, if you like stuff like this, kind of mythology kind of things going on, I would 100% suggest this. I really, really would. I mean, the stories are hilarious. I've seen a few people pulling this. I've seen quite a few people pull this. I'll have this on their pull. I think it's great. And I can go ahead and tell you now, even if you want to look at it as in like, well, I'm in the spec, so what does that do for spec? Nothing that Neil Gaiman has ever done is now cheap. I mean, if you got volume, like the first volume of Sandman, first prints, they're not cheap. Like, you can resell those. And I mean, it's not going to take long. You know what I'm saying? So if you're even in the spec, there's your spec for you. This man's stuff does not say cheap for long. I'm assuming the Norse mythology stuff's still cheap because it's relatively new, but you give it like 5 years down the road, you're not going to be able to find any. I would highly suggest it. So yes, I would 100% say Norse mythology volume 3 is coming out. You don't have to, as far as I mean, I can't say because I didn't get to read volume 1, but I'm pretty sure if you jump into volume 3, you're not going to have to continue the same story. You're not going to miss anything. It can throw you right back into it. I'm assuming Neil Gaiman will be writing it that way. If he's such a good writer, like everybody says he is, which now I think he is, he's definitely living up to the hype. I definitely think you need to jump on this volume 3 when it comes out in the next couple months. I think it's in like February is when it's starting back up. So yeah, David Mack has been doing covers for this. I have one of them that's got a giant kitty cat on it, basically has Quentin on it. And then P. Craig Russell is no slouch himself. He is doing the interiors on these books, and these are his covers. I think these are phenomenal. I love this style of art. It's really, really great. Books are a lot of fun. Yeah, we are definitely the winners. I mean, I'll take that win all day long. What is up, Nick, the comic nerd? How are you doing today? Yeah, those are what I've been looking at, Phil. They did like a thing where it's like hardcovers and they're like graphic novels or whatever, and they're in like a little thing or whatever. I was actually looking at those because those are like, I think I'm finding them for like 200, which seems worth it to me. I really, really want to get into it, so I need to probably do that. Yeah. Okay. So they're all short fables. Some of the stories are not interlinked, but they're continuations. But you could pick one issue up and jump right into it, and you would not be lost whatsoever. It's written that way. Yeah, and they're like short fables of like how the gods, how you got poetry from the gods, or how you got fire from the gods, where the tides come from, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I have no idea. I'm really going to start diving into Neil Gaiman really, really hard and seeing if I can find all his stuff. Because just from reading Norse mythology, I'm really intrigued. I think I found one of my new favorite writers of all time. That's how good this is. So, oh, they aren't illustrated. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, a friend of mine is really into books. She loves books. She's into novels and stuff like that. And my best friend, who she's married to, um, he got her for Christmas or birthday one year, something like that. He found a Neil Gaiman book. I think it was Neverwhere. I think it was that book. He found it signed and got it for her, and she freaked out. So I mean, yeah, he does novels too. So if you're a novel kind of thing, my friend Heather, who was here for a while, who might not still be here, um, Heather, did you say oversized trading cards? Yeah, so great. So yeah, she even knows who Neil Gaiman is, and she's more of a novel collector, reading novels and reading books. She's huge into Stephen King, and what's that other guy's name? Somebody else. And she knows who Neil Gaiman is, and she absolutely loves his stuff too. So if you're into novels, there you go. Neil Gaiman does novels as well. Yeah, I've heard of that one too. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Would they be able to do a volume two? Are you talking about like a volume two of Sandman? I don't know, but if they put out one, I'm definitely getting it. Wrap filming and is bound for Netflix soon. So there you go, folks. I mean, it's not gonna, they're not going to get any cheaper. They're already hard to find around here. I know you don't run across them a lot down in the southeast, or at least in South Carolina, you don't. But they're probably not going to be cheap for long. Last two things. Number one's probably not going to shock anybody, but number two probably is. This is kind of, I guess you can consider it cheating too. Phil, here you go. I did not like. I mean, I like the artwork in Batman. Jorge Jimenez, phenomenal artist. I absolutely love his Batman art. To me, Tinian is tedious. To me, it's every once in a while he puts out a banger issue that gives you everything you want in a Batman issue. But to me, just some of his stuff is just really long-winded, and it's like he's trying to be smart for the sake of being smart. Like he's trying to put out all these like books for the sake of being like a great writer, when really all you have to do is just be a great writer, and it just stretches to it's too much. It's like 6 issues to get me to an issue. Like issue 1 through 5 will be like for me, and then issue 6 will be like, this is phenomenal, and then back to 1 through 5 where it's like and then it's issue 6 is phenomenal. So I really wasn't enjoying the whole Batman run. I'm interested in seeing where it's going to go now. Coraline. Did Neil Gaiman do Coraline? Am I lost somewhere? Yeah, American Gods. That's another one that I want to get into. See, now I've got everybody talking about Sandman and Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman has stolen the show. Okay, so number 2 on the list. Shout out to Phil. Here you go for this one. This might be kind of cheating too because it came out this month, but I thought this was phenomenally funny. If you like dark humor And if you like the show Archer, the animated show Archer, Ranger Stranger, holy crap. Like, I thought Scout Comics One Shot Mullet Cop was good. It really, really was. It was like a cross between, Danny McBride, Eastbound. It was a cross between Eastbound and Down and Paul Blart Mall Cop. This was so hilarious and so good. And you can tell it from the beginning because everybody always looks at the front, but nobody always looks at the back. So you got the front, which is the bear's mouth, blah, blah, blah. And you can definitely tell it's an Archer kind of style of artwork. And these are the gentlemen who've done it. And I think, I want to say, this person here might have been Tyler Jensen. I think it was Adam. Adam Battaglia. I'm going to screw that up. He was on Blasting and Stashing with Pocan Joe and Spider Grandpa and the other guy who I'm blanking on right now. David? Dan? Anyway, they interviewed him on Blasting and Stashing. And it was phenomenal. When I heard him describe the book, I was like on board. But yeah, like, oh yeah, I'm not taking anything from Jorge Jimenez. I honestly wish he would have stayed on the book. If you would have not changed the artist. But since it's Molina, now I'm like, okay, well, I like Molina too. But I mean, there was no reason for, take him off that book just because, the thing was changing. You go do that. Rage. Have a good one, JD. So there's the front. That gives you any indication. And then the back is what you see coming out of the bear. So there you go. So that right there tells you what kind of book this is. Cardstock cover, excellent quality paper. On top of this, I found out they have an Instagram for Ranger Stranger. Just for Ranger Stranger. Just for this one shot, for the content that is inside of it. They also have a YouTube channel. There is a Ranger Stranger YouTube channel that puts out videos, and they are hilarious. So funny. So yeah, if you like dark humor, if you like Archer, Family Guy, any of that, American Dad, any of that kind of stuff, you will love this book. I laughed so hard reading this the other night. I thought this was incredible. I really hope they make this a thing. I hope this becomes ongoing. I hope this sold out so much that this becomes a thing and becomes ongoing, because I want to read more of this. This is the kind of laughter and fun and hilarity I need in my life from a comic book. You don't get it much. So yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Connor? Cannibal Corpse, definitely. And not only do I have a Cannibal Corpse shirt, it is, can I see it? Can you see it? I can't see it. It's down too low. I can't get it. Signed by two of the members. I got two of the members to sign it while I was at the show. So yeah, Ranger Stranger, incredible. What is up, Southpaw Brad? How are you doing, buddy? Coming in at the tail end. Yeah, like, okay, we've seen that. Yeah. So yeah, definitely 100% would say this is definitely worth getting, worth finding. If you like Archer, American Dad, Family Guy, stuff like that, you will love this book. It was so fun to read this book. And it came in at the tail end of the year and pretty much just stole the show as far as my reading went. And last, let's see who we got. Oh, what's up, Manny? What is up? Chamorro Cinema. I seen you were going live, and I was like, crap, like, nobody's going to come watch my thing now. Like, so, but, and at the same time, you weren't going to get to be in it and, like, get to see it, like, be in the chat. So I was like, So, it is what it is. I'm glad you're here now. What is up, Comic Ozzy? So yeah, last for me for this year, as far as comics go, the best thing I've read, I know that some people, it's probably lower on their list and stuff like that, but it's probably in everybody's top 10. For me, if you've ever played the Fallout video game series, it's phenomenal. And not only is it phenomenal, but it really just took me over as far as post-apocalyptic kind of stuff and really kicked that off for me. And then I was lucky enough to get a hold of this. This is Geiger by Jeff Johns, Gary Franks, Brad Anderson. I got the, by the time I got a hold of it, it was a fourth printing. Is this fourth printing? Yeah, fourth printing cover. I love this cover though. I think this cover is incredible. So yeah, I love this series. I thought it was phenomenal. It took like Mad Max, and it took like Fallout, and it took A Boy and His Dog, and it took all these post-apocalyptic things, all of them, and mashed them up, and it turned them into a comic book. You got some of the DC Racing Strike goodness up there at the top, even though it's an image book. Cardstock covers, $3.99. Amazing page quality. I love this story. This is supposed to be part of a giant universe that's going to come out now. There's an 80-page giant of this coming out in a couple months. And then we're going to go to other characters in this verse. I don't know if they're eventually going to make all the characters meet in one thing, or if you're just going to get like like individual stories from each character, and then that's going to be it. But I'm excited to see how this goes. Jeff Johns has been writing great stuff for years. He did a great Green Lantern run, did a great Batman run. That's people seem to enjoy a lot. I haven't read it yet. I have the hardcover I need to dig into from the library. But yeah, I thought this was phenomenal. This stole my show for the year for me. When you had me at post-apocalyptic, when I started reading it, I was getting feels of like Fallout and Mad Max, Boy and His Dog, all these other things. It just knocked it out of the park. So I was absolutely loved Geiger. This stole the show for me this year. Ranger Stranger was real close to taking this off the pedestal, but I just absolutely loved it. I love the artwork. I love if it was set at night, it was great. If it was set during the day, artwork was still great. Story definitely had me intrigued. Had kind of like it definitely had an intriguing story with the fact that like there was always like, it was never like you read an issue and then something happened and then down the line you forgot that thing happened. So it was always like it was one continuous mesh, and I'm assuming that's the way they wrote it. I thought this was incredible. This stole the show. My year pick, number one for me at top of my list was Geiger. Can't wait for what is going to be the next one. The next one's going to be something Junkyard Joe. Junkyard Joe is, I'm going to believe, going to be the next one. There's a Patriot kind of character too, which definitely throws me to Fallout 4 because you got the whole colonial Boston looking thing going on. So yeah, that is it. Let's see. I was missing. Everybody saying hey. Oh, you're tuning in with Brad. Okay, so y'all, I'm assuming y'all are at Brad's house, and you're both like watching it on the what you call it, the balcony. Yeah, Manny. Yeah, it's just so good. It does seem to be hot this year, but it's been for me, once I played Fallout 3, I was just heavily steeped into it. And then it has like little breaks. Mad Max has been a while. They're trying to bring back Mad Max. I watched the newer one and I was just like, it doesn't, That's going to be your number one this year. I bet you money TM Nerdy's number one book this year is going to be King Spawn. 100%. I'm telling you, it's the thing. Yeah, you know me, Damien. I've always picked weird stuff that I really, really like that everybody else is like. Earlier today, I told TM, he shared a post about Manifest Destiny, and I was like, you were the only person besides me reading this book. I thought Manifest Destiny's great. If it wouldn't have taken such a long break between the last few issues, it probably would have made my top 10 list. Well, probably wouldn't have made the top 10 still, because there was a whole bunch of stuff. You got to be Tom Taylor and Neil Gaiman and stuff like that. But still, it would have been a lot better for me if they wouldn't have slowed it way down. So, I mean, it's always been like that with me. I like the weirdest stuff the most. Nice House on the Lake, I think, was supposed to because I mean, I dropped it a few issues in. I believe it's like aliens invading. Different kind of thing. This one's nuclear fallout. Was it Mad Max? Was like what? There was no more gasoline, so the whole world went insane, or something like that. Or like, I don't think they really specified what caused it then. So there you go. I'm telling you, it's really good. Yeah, and see, yeah, 8 years in the making. It was a 50-issue run. I love Manifest Destiny because I mean it's about Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea traversing the country, but there's a twist to it, and sometimes it's terrifying. Yeah. See, yeah, Sleepy didn't even know it was still going. Yeah, so I mean, it's been a thing. I think that book is phenomenal. Me and TM are like the only, and now you, Chuck, the only people I know pulling that book. That's it. Everybody else either jumped off of it, probably at issue like, I know I jumped in at like issue 10. And then after I quit buying, I haven't seen it since. But I'm going to go back and buy all the issues and just read the whole thing straight through, 50 issues, because to me, it's a great story. I love it. It's a twist on American history. It's a twist on history in general, just with the fact of, you know, it really, really, what was the movie with Chris Farley and Matthew Perry where they were bumbling through and they were Lewis and Clark, and like the only one who had any sense and was able to get anything done was the indigenous woman who was with them. So, I mean, yeah, what was the name of that movie? I bet you Brad's screaming it right now on his phone. Yeah, anyway, so it's like that. Yeah, I'm telling you, like that's a sleeper one. That would be something if you like old world kind of stuff. If you like westerns or stuff like that, I would suggest Manifest Destiny to anyone. So that is pretty much it, y'all. An hour and 45 minutes almost. A lot of people in here in the chat who, like I said at the beginning of this, I cannot stress enough how many awesome people I've met this year, how many awesome people I get to meet next year, because now I'm branching out into cards. So, yeah, hopefully, I mean, it just keeps going onward and upward. So, yeah, that was cards, that was records, that was comic books. I can't believe it ran this long. I can't believe it ran this long. But still, yeah, hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope everybody had a good holiday season, got what you wanted to get done this year. If not, I didn't finish my Web of Spider-Man run either. I'll hack at it another time. But I got most of it. So, and I started that halfway through the year. If I would have started at the beginning of the year, I totally would have had it. I appreciate everybody for watching throughout the year and tonight as well. Hopefully you'll continue to watch. I've got some interesting stuff coming up. Card ripping with Sean and Southpaw Brad. I've got some interviews coming up with some comic book artists and writers. I've got, of course, Hot Takes is still going to go on. Almost Heroes. That was the name of it. Oh, my God. So, yeah, imagine Almost Heroes, but way more terrifying. So, there you go. Hope everybody has a good one. Here's to a good 2022 to each and every one of you. Salute. I will see everyone later. I think the next time I'll see everybody is on Spinetics, because I think I've got 2 more weeks before pool comes in. I will have a review video coming up before then. So there's that. Have a good one. Y'all be kind to one another. See everybody later.